Hello, guys. I'm Fernanda. I'm very happy to be here with you. And
My name is Luis Eduardo Dudu, and it's a pleasure to be here and share a bit with you, okay? We are going to talk about accommodating every single student because we really believe that every student is different and all of them need to be fit in our class.
and also it's important to say that they have their pace. Yeah. So it's important for us to take a look and respect and their needs. Each student needs.
And it's never just talking about special needs. We tend to think about special needs as something very different, but that's not it. Every student is different, every person is different. So we need to have a different eye of everyone and trying to accommodate all of them in our environment. So we're going to talk about the teacher's role and then discuss the question, what can we do? Talk about communication and a wrap up. That's what I'm going to do today in this TBS Pills. So, number one, teacher's role. Can you read, Fernanda?
Do the best you can until you know better. Then you know better. Do better.
We are in this process, yes, teachers and everyone, every human being. So we need to be in this process of learning, sharing, trying, doing better. So the quote's amazing for us as teachers to understand and live that, yes? We are teachers.
Right. This is very important. Yes. Because we are not doctors, so we cannot tell the parents or even the students what they have, if they have a problem or not. And this is very important because we didn't study for that, right? And then we have our role, right?
And then we can't diagnose anyone. That's not our job to look at a student and spot and say, this student has this or that, or it's something. So we need to understand that's not our job to do that. We are part of the process. We can help this diagnosis, but that we are not the ones to give it and deliver it.
Yes, our role here is to answer the questions of the doctor or the psychologist. Like they're going to ask us about the students' behavior in class, and then they're going to come up with a diagnosis.
We can help with strategies that we have seen working or not.
Right.
And number three, in my opinion, is the most important one because we tend to label people, label students. This is João, and then he has something, and then he is the one that has it. We have to remember that is always the student first and not the condition. Let's put it in this way. We cannot label those students. After the moment we label someone being something, we are going to stick that box, and they are going to just produce or do or develop in the way we believe this box is made of. And a student is a person. Everyone, as we put in the first slide, has something specific, some abilities. We are in a different community, in a different world with different abilities. So we have to remember that after the moment we label, and again, that's not only for special needs. If you
Mm-hmm.
label a student, this is the student that always behaves badly, the one that's noisy. If we keep labeling the students, that's going to jeopardize our teaching and our communication with them, the bridge we need to build between us teachers and they as
And
students.
also about the student self-esteem. Yes. So those students, they are going to think, oh, I'm bad. I can't learn. Or and then if the teachers think like that, Two, uh, we cannot change or help, right? Those students. And this is important to have in mind. Sometimes say, no, this is, there is nothing to do for this student. And this is, we have to worry about it. We have to actually to pay attention, not to do it, not to do it, because there are some strategies that we can follow, right?
We play a very important role, as Fernanda said here, in their self-esteem, in the ability of the student with the community, with the society, because we are the reference, we are the moment that we are there, they are opening some things that they have never shown at home, or even with the psychotherapists, we are there making this bridge with the student and the society. The school is the first society moment that the student has. So we need to pay attention to that and remind ourselves of how important we are in helping the student not have a low self-esteem.
Yeah, it's a
Again,
matter of I'm sorry, Dudu.
oh, that's
It's a
it,
matter
please.
perceiving and understanding the students' need. This is the point. I think this is the sentence for that for that slide here. Actually, perceiving and understand your students' needs.
So some tip, the reflection, yes?
Yeah, and how?
Correct.
Yeah, right.
We can help, but how? Many times we feel lost in the situation. We have a big group, and then we spot someone that behaves differently from what we are used to, and that's mainly about what we are used to. And sometimes it's just a matter of our personality. We have different personalities, so different behaviors affect us in different ways.
Uh-huh.
I'm very kinesthetic, so I'm very okay with students that stand up, move, and change. But some teachers, they can't. It's more difficult for them to cope with these energetic students. So we
Right.
also have our perspective, and when we understand our perspective, we can understand their perspectives. Yes.
And how? Because sometimes we say like, oh no, okay, you have to understand your students' need. Okay, okay, okay. But it's not easy also. So because sometimes you understand, but you don't know what to do. Yeah. That's why we're here, and that's why we need to study for that, right? Because something that is very important that we have to keep in mind, that the student is the center of everything, right? Is the center of your class.
So the question, yes, the difficult question: what can we do?
Very difficult one, right?
We discussed when we were preparing this presentation, and one thing that really we had like we saw eye to eye on that is the mindset. We need to change the mindset to of seeing a student that doesn't behave accordingly to what we want them to as a problem. It's a mindset of seeing someone with special needs or just someone that gives you some difficulty, some trouble in your class as a problem. Of course, we cannot make it that it's beautiful, it's going to be easy, and that's an opportunity that comes to us. Yeah.
Right. It's not a romantic villain, right? Of course. Uh-huh.
But it is an opportunity for growth for
Right.
both for us as teachers, for our group as individuals, learning to live in a society, in an environment, learning how to help, how to empathize, respect. It's important. And having someone that pops that up, I would say that in a way that you can see, because many times they are there, but they are hidden. They just behave naturally because they can do it. So it's someone that really shows that, and then you face the situation. facing the situation that we are normally not used to, makes us go out of our comfort zone. And being out of our comfort zone might bring us this idea of trouble, problem, and that's difficult, that's going to be hard. This group with this student, 1 year, what am I
Yeah,
going
right.
to do? But
Yes, we discussed that. We discussed that, and also we think about do not take it personally. I think it's a good thing to say here. Yes, Dudu, because the students sometimes they do things because not against you, right? And then I think this is very important for us to have in mind. Like, oh, I don't like this student because he did that with me. Actually, is not with us, right? Teachers. It's because his condition, let's say that way. I'm not talking about bad or good condition, right? But and then this is very important because then you change the way you see the student. Because instead of saying like, oh, he doesn't like me, and then I don't like him as well, and then you change like, how can I help that student, like because he needs to learn, and he needs to increase his or her self-esteem, right, in order to learn effectively. And then this is our part to perceive that, right?
it's the point, of course. It is a challenge.
Right.
It's going to be a challenge, but challenges are not necessarily problems. I really see and I believe this mindset should be spread of opportunities to grow. We can grow from this experience and everyone can. So steps, we're going to how. Yes, we said that we're going to give some real tips, and Fernanda has already mentioned the part of study. We need to study. But the first, I believe that we have to understand that we are not like the owner of every knowledge. We might face difficulties, we might face problems in our classroom, and we need to ask for help.
Of
We tend
course.
to believe that we can solve every single problem. And sometimes a tip from someone that knows a bit more, that has studied a bit more about some specific topic can really help.
Or maybe someone that had more experience, right?
Yes.
And then it helps a lot.
Even the previous teacher, sometimes the previous teacher of the group, you can ask, not necessarily a psychologist, a doctor, but it can be as a community, the coordination. And then we have to be able to ask for help.
Right. And also you have to pay attention, not label the students in that way. Like when you have to ask the previous teacher. And because sometimes you ask the previous teacher, ele é muito danado, right? So no, forget about it. Okay, so just ask about the action. How with things that work, that had worked with that student. Uh,
Which strategy
in the
have you
previous the
used?
tragedies, right?
What
From
were the
previous
strategies that
semester,
worked? What the one didn't work? And share, make this bridge. And
right?
studying, yes, we have to. We are teachers. We have decided that path. So we are always studying, and we will always do it. One thing that helped me with autistic student was to keep a journal, because when we teach a class, many times lots of things happens in this class, and then we leave. Many times we teach like 5 classes in a row if you're in a regular school, and then we teach the first one. And in some situations, you have some students that give you some trouble in different ways. When you are able And I know that we're very busy. It's difficult for us to keep track of every single thing. But I had a notebook near me. And then during the activities, I used to take note. Yes, this activity, she did well. Pair work, she stayed 2 minutes and then she left. And because after that, after keeping a journal and taking notes, I can remember. We are very busy. We finish the class and then we go for the next one. When there is something written there that you can rely on, that when you're going to plan your next class, you can take a look. It's easier for you to keep track of the improvement of the student. It's easier for you to understand what kind of activities. It's easier for the students what kind is a bit more trouble, and that it doesn't mean that you're not going to do the ones that are difficult. But when you do it, you already know that you're going to need more guidance in this activity. And it works for everyone, of course. It's very difficult to keep track. If we could, in an imaginary dream, keep track of every single student after the class, Fulaninho did some, and then we could trace them. It's impossible for us. But few of them, the ones we are going for, it can help. And it really helped me in this process with the student, and I could see improvement, and I could see that it took me more time during the class, but then during planning.
But everybody can benefit, yeah? Yeah, right, from it.
I could predict some things and I could learn other things and I could reflect on my teaching. That was something and reflect about the way I was doing, reflect on my instructions. Instruction very important in this whole process, working on how to do instructions.
And also to check if they understood the instructions. Yes, this is not only for special needs or all the students. So that's why I say that everybody can benefit from those strategies, right? And then we have here, we don't need to wait the medical. Oh yeah, this is something that I think we have talked about it before, because you can, start making planning your class, as Dudu said, like paying attention. What kind of students do you have in class? So it's something that we can start doing. Also, it's important to say that to talk to your coordinator first and never direct to parents. We are talking about that, yes, Dudu. And I think this is very important because we are a team, as Dudu said. We are not alone in this process. So we can count on your coordinators, and we can count on your on other teachers to help you, right? And but to talk to parents, my suggestion is to talk to the school, and then the school, they're going to talk to parents. So, and then you have all the how do I say that? All
The rules,
yeah, the rules for that, right?
because the two things, acting after you have the diagnosis, but it's difficult. We live in a society that still think that it's a problem to have a condition, I would say in this way, and parents, they don't want to see it many times. It's difficult for them to take it to school, and they take to the regular school, but then they don't take to the English school, and they keep because they believe that when they take this medical diagnosis to the school, everyone is going to look at the kid differently and trying in labeling them. That's why we reminded about the importance of not to label, okay? And when it gets to you, of course, it's more specific. We have more guidance to do it. But when we spot and we study, you're gonna see that the general tips for almost every single special need, they are general. They're not specific to the kid. And these general tips can be applied to everyone. It's a myth that this behavior, adapting your class to special needs, is going to jeopardize the whole class. Actually, it's the opposite. When you're, for example, ADHD, break instructions, have some visual aid, make sure that everyone has understood, ask a student to repeat your instruction. If you do that, everyone is going to benefit. It's not just the student with this special need. Everyone is part of the process. So following, spotting this difference, spotting it and start acting. You don't need to wait this medical diagnosis because it might never come. But of course, when it
Yeah,
comes,
right.
it helps.
Mm-hmm.
And as Fernanda said, it's parents come to get the kid in the school, and then you go to the parent and ask, "What's your kid problem?"
Mm-hmm.
And we know that that's bad, but if you ask your coordinator, if you ask to the school, you're going to see that many parents have already faced the situation, and that's not good. And there you can have a problem and really jeopardize your relationship with the family, with the kid. So there is a route, there is a path to be followed. And it's very rude for us teachers to go direct to the mother or the father or someone that's picking up the kid and asking this kind of question. It really hurts. So we have to be careful on this approach. And as you said, after giving the tips, we have the reality check ahead. How many things, and now it's going to work. If you ask for help, you study, you keep a journal, you start doing before the medical thing, and you talk to coordination, then everything works. Is that it? It's not, but that's the route. That's the way. That's the path to go. We have to face it. We have to find strategies, and the only way to face it and to deal with that is going in a way of dealing with. Not we shouldn't put up with. I shouldn't. That's the point. Many times you ask for the what did you do with the student? I let the student do whatever he wants to do it, and then I taught the other students, and he didn't jeopardize my class. But did he participate? Did you use this opportunity of having this student in your class to enhance this development, this community development? So it's not putting up with.
Mm-hmm. Because this is a teacher, yeah. I mean, it's our role in that process.
And to help our reality, the main idea is communication. That's our main goal here. Peace.
I love that. I love that. Do you know why, guys? Because it's the center. Like the student is the center of everything. We were talking about that because you have like the school and like the doctors, the family, the therapists, but we have to focus on the student. I think is the most important part here.
We always say during our meetings that in TBS, what we do, we teach students through language or students through content in English.
In
But the
English.
student comes first, okay? They are our goal. And the importance of having this bridge and this communication, that's even a kind of a manifesto for us to improve this, because unfortunately, many times schools don't talk to the family, that don't talk to the psychotherapists, don't talk to the doctors, or then it's just doctors and family, and then there is no school, and then psychotherapists and school, but no family, no doctors. Everyone is part of this process, having the student in our center. And when everyone talks, everyone participates, it's easier to set goals, to
Mhm.
understand this student need, what's specific from this student, because even in every, I don't like the word, but that's condition, is
Mhm.
different because it's a single individual in different needs, different aspects, different abilities. Having this communication working better, we are going to be able to set the goals and then achieve the goals of the students. Because do we need the student to understand everything we say, or our goal here today is for the student to be able to work in pairs, participate in a group work, to come to you and ask, can I drink water? So setting these goals is going to help us. And it's much easier if everyone talks to everyone. And as Fernanda said, that's the focus of the image, having the student in the center. Because our goal here is not for the student to learn present simple or present perfect. That's not it. We want the student to learn, but the student, how? In which way? How can we help them? Okay.
Right. And also it's a matter of teaching for the student, not teaching for the class. I mean, for your class plan, right? You have to, after you teach, it's good to come back and see what were your goals and reflect about it. And put it in mind that the student is the most important part of your class.
We have had Pills here in the workshop and also during the trainings. We talk about differentiation. So working with special needs, not that much different of what we talk when we talk about differentiation, because that's the global picture. They're just going to be more specific in certain specific needs. Okay, but this was our favorite slide because that's what we need to improve here. The most important thing, we need to improve this communication. Okay, so I'll wrap up. The first of all is to remind ourselves that we are not alone in this process. We cannot feel alone. We cannot feel the only one responsible for the student development, the only one responsible for everything. When we understand that we are part of a community and we have people able and available to help us, it's easier for us to understand the process, to understand the student, to understand our situation. We are together and we have to remember that.
Right. We are a team, right? We are together.
And as they give points here, not just one person pulling the other one. They are together because we have things to contribute. There are things that will only happen in our class because each environment is a different one. The behavior of the student in an English class is going to be even different from the behavior of the student in a regular class with the regular teacher. It's different. And we have a lot to contribute, and people have a lot to contribute to us and help. We can help the other professionals, and the other professionals can help us to help the student, which is our goal.
Right. Because that's our goal, our main goal.
And the final message we want to leave is that no one should be left behind. That's the point. We're not putting up with differences and different abilities. We are helping everyone. We are using this opportunity to grow. It's a growth opportunity. We are here as human beings, not only teachers. They are there as individuals, not only students, and they are learning much more than English or content. Students are learning how to live in a society. They are learning how to cope with their strengths and their weaknesses. They are learning how to communicate. They are learning. Sorry, it's my cat here that they are learning this
Sorry, they are my students here. So this is reality, right?
Yes.
Yes, and I am inside a school. So this is the reality, right? So we work like that, huh? And no one should be left behind.
Everyone is important. So that was the main message for us today. We wanted this manifesto of improving the communication, of changing the mindset, being open to opportunities, and having a student with some special needs in your class is an opportunity for everyone. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you, Dudu.
Thank you, Fernanda. It was a pleasure to share this opportunity here with you, this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a great opportunity for me too. My pleasure. Bye-bye.